I'm on a mission to go from nurse to full-time in music, and 2 weeks ago, I introduced the steps I'm going to take to accomplish that mission. The biggest goal of mine being to perform Sweet Victory at the largest sports venue in town. But there's a few foundational things I have to do in order to begin my quest. One of them being repairing the broken basements of my life. And if I don't, then I absolutely won't be able to chase my dreams nearly as well. Because how are you supposed to cook up the hits if you don't have a kitchen to cook in? This video is all about that. But before we get to it,
let's get serious.
Let's get serious, a little serious, because you matter and your life isn't a joke.
at least not entirely. I'm going to be reading from a script while I do this 1 minute of serious, and I just wanted to tell you that because I want you to know that everything here is important to me and you're important to me. This topic is just so serious, I just wanted to be sure to articulate it as best as I could. So here goes nothing. I grew up in a small town near Pittsburgh, and I always loved music. I was raised while the internet became prevalent and when the first iteration of the iPhone came out, and those things provided me with outlets where a lot of my childhood brokenness and hurt could be coped with in some unhealthy ways. And without getting overly transparent, I developed lust tendencies and false beliefs about myself and others that eventually led to a confused sense of God, dysfunctional relationships, and other related habitual and behavioral issues. Now, I get that some of that is normal struggle, but I consider a lot of the things I dealt with a form of addiction, characterized by compulsivity, my increasing levels of tolerance, difficulties resisting, feelings of withdrawal, and all the toxic physical and emotional effects my problems had on me. I appeared functional on the outside, but I was dying on the inside. I was unknowingly living for the approval of others in impractical and made-up ways just to feel good enough. And I was blindly neglecting the actual needs I had for real love and connection. It took some painful circumstances to get me to wake up and take action, and the work of change was serious. It involved surrender to God, a reformatting of my brain, uprooting lies about myself and others, good books, good friends, a good program, steps of vulnerability and self-care, and I'm still chipping away at it. But through the love and grace of God, I have changed in so many ways, and I live liberated. So similarly, in cleaning up the broken basement of my life, I also recently had to fix the basement of my home in order to lay a foundation for freely doing the things I've always wanted to do. It began like this. In my basement. And 2 years ago, after working to make this into a decently functional studio and having made my first song solo in it, it was a pretty big bummer because it flooded. So I had to muster up the courage and band-aid the immediate problems, which included digging new downspout lines and then redoing a kitchen and sanding unfinished cabinets and all this stuff, which actually turned out pretty fire. And then I had to move all my studio gear up into another temporary space and then fix the real problem. And fixing any problem usually follows a typical pathway. 1. Recognizing the problem. Mine was a broken basement flooding from the exterior due to grading and drainage issues. 2. Consultation and evaluation. I figured all of that out because I had a friend whose friend does that professionally, and he came and consulted on my downspouts and grading on my ground and other drainage systems and issues and said, you can probably do this yourself. So then you have to 3, develop an accurate understanding. I learned all that I could on Google, videos, etc. You know how it goes. Number 4, formulating the plan. I punched the numbers, got necessary supplies, called up my awesome nephew for physical labor assistance. Thanks again, Cam. And then we had to take action. I had to dig a French drain with a mini excavator that I didn't really know how to use.
Hey! He does kind of know what he's doing.
And then put all the components of a French drain in there and regrade the ground and then wait for it to rain for confirmation. Then I had to clean out the basement that had been ruined over a period of 2 years, fix the basement and the drywall, which I hate doing. I hate sanding drywall. Then I ran these cables up through the wall, and that was pretty fun and against my wife's will, but still pretty awesome, so that I could record from upstairs and the downstairs, and I reset the spaces to be this epic live room and this control room, and I've got videos and cameras and all this stuff, and I finally got to set up my drum set that had been sitting around, and just like that, after 2 years, it was done. So yeah, with the basement pretty much done, I'm finally ready to make some music. And if I could leave you with anything, it's this. Many of us have actual or metaphorical basements that are broken or damaged and they seem beyond repair. They just don't support the framework of life. But you matter. You're important. Your life is not a joke. You are loved by God, and you can make the choice to clean out your basement and build a life that's surrendered to love and hope and chasing after the things that you've been designed for. There's going to be difficulties, but that's life. You can be healthy and have a life that's good. Thank you so much to those of you who hit that like button or subscribed. If you'd love to come along for the journey in an even better way, consider joining my Patreon or my email list and keep up with all that's going on. In a few weeks from now, I think I'll go to Boston, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be quite the adventure. So stay tuned for then and keep on rolling.
And it's sweet.